Two of the biggest names in golf played the same course, in the same heat, in the same week. One of them shot 17 under 263 and won by 8 shots, the largest winning margin in the tournament's 68-year history. The other shot 8 over and finished third from last. Scottie Scheffler collected $3.6 million and clinched a further $23 million in bonus money. Rory McIlroy finished 66th. That is how the 2026 FedEx Cup playoffs began at the FedEx St. Jude Championship in Memphis, Tennessee, and the distance between those two results explains why the conversation heading into the second event has shifted so heavily toward Rory McIlroy. Begin with the winner, because even his week contained one moment that came close to changing the outcome. Scottie Scheffler started the final round on Sunday holding a 2-shot lead over Sam Burns and Sungjae Im. It was his first outright 54-hole lead in more than a year. On the par 5 third hole at TPC Southwind, his second shot missed to the left, leaving a tricky downhill bunker shot toward the palm that guards the front right side of the green. He played it exactly as intended, lofting the ball into the air so it would land on the collar and trickle toward the hole rather than run through the putting surface into the water. The ball came down directly on a sprinkler head hidden in that collar. It took a hard bounce, rolled past the pin, ran down the slope, and went into the water. A penalty stroke and a drop followed. A likely birdie became a scramble to save bogey, and the 2-shot lead was suddenly won. Walking to take the drop, Scottie Scheffler turned to his caddy, Ted Scott. "I told Teddy when we were going down there to drop my ball, and I was like, when is this going to stop happening?" he said afterward. He's like, "I don't know, man." Speaking in his post-round press conference, he added, "Yeah. I wasn't very happy when that ball bounced off that sprinkler head on the third." He also said, "It cost me a couple shots." The question had a context behind it. In May, at the CJ Cup Byron Nelson, Scottie Scheffler was chasing the lead on Sunday while attempting to defend his 2025 title there. After 2 consecutive birdies, he hit a wedge shot that struck the flagstick and rolled 55 feet off the green. He finished third alone that week. Similar breaks had followed him through the season. The answer to his question in Memphis arrived almost immediately. He got the ball up and down to save bogey at the third, hit a good shot at the fourth, and then made a birdie at the fifth from a 207-yard approach. At the 6th hole, he pulled his tee shot to the left and received a favorable bounce into the first cut of rough. He took advantage of it and birdied again to extend the lead. He struck a mid-iron to 10 feet for 1 birdie, then holed a 20-foot putt on the next hole. Within a short stretch, a 1-shot lead had grown to 6. He made 5 birdies across the remainder of the round without dropping another stroke and closed with a 4 under 66. The final figures were severe. Scottie Scheffler finished at 17 under 263, 8 shots clear of Siwoo Kim, who closed with a 68 to take second place alone. That margin broke the previous tournament record of 7 shots set by John Cook in 1996, and stands as the largest winning margin in 68 years at TPC Southwind. Scottie Scheffler was the only player in the entire field to finish the week in double digits under par. Siwoo Kim summarized his afternoon plainly. "I wanted to win so bad, but Scottie played so good," he said. The result moved Siwoo Kim to a career best position of 13th in the world ranking. The two are neighbors in Dallas and play frequently at home. Earlier this year, Siwoo Kim said of those matches, "He calls me ATM." Sam Burns and Alex Noren tied for third place at 8 under. Sam Burns, who played alongside the leader in the final group and had shot 62 on Saturday, took a double bogey at the par 5 third hole and signed for a 73. Alex Noren shot 69. Sam Burns said afterward, "I don't think it would have mattered if I played well." He added, "He played exactly how I expected him to." He also said, "I would have had to play pretty much a perfect round of golf to have a chance today, and I didn't come close to that." Conditions were demanding. The temperature approached 100 degrees and felt hotter. And the final round produced the strongest winds of the week. TPC Southwind played over par at 75-6 for the first time all week, and only the defending champion Justin Rose, who shot 64, bettered the winner's final round score. Even holding an enormous lead, Scottie Scheffler said the closing stretch offered no comfort. "I didn't really feel like I could breathe too much until I got on the green on 18, he said. The foundation for the victory was built on Friday. Scottie Scheffler opened that round with birdies on the first 5 holes and posted a 9 under 61 that included 2 bogeys, a score that tied the course record. He held the halfway lead, carried a 3-shot advantage into Saturday, then saw it reduced to a single stroke after a 68 in the 3rd round. The statistical story of the week belonged to his putter, which had been a problem only weeks earlier. He ranked first in strokes gained putting, the best performance of his career in that category, gaining nearly 9 shots on the greens alone. He holed 14 putts from outside 10 feet, more than any other player in the field and the highest total of his career in a single tournament. He made 3 birdie putts from beyond 20 feet in the final round, including one of 22 feet at the 13th hole. He ranked 3rd in strokes gained, tee to green, and 2nd in strokes gained approach. He also made a switch to a Kiefer D driver that week. Describing the preparation behind it, he said, "I felt like I found something just getting my hands on the club." On the putting, he said, "I felt like I holed a lot of those kind of 15 to 20 footers. He explained that he had spent 2 weeks at home before the tournament, playing and competing rather than working on the practice range, and described it as the best he had played at home all year. The victory ended a stretch that had become the defining subject of his season. It was the 21st title of his career on the PGA Tour, and every one of them has come since 2022. His previous win was at the American Express in the California desert in January, which meant 203 days had passed without a trophy. His longest previous gap between a first and second victory in a season had been 28 days. During that period, he recorded 5 runner-up finishes, including his most recent start at the 3M Open in Minnesota, and 2 of those second-place results came after losing in playoffs. 5 runner-up finishes in a season ties the highest total on the PGA Tour in the last 40 years, shared with 6 other players. He also collected 11 top 10 finishes and 2 third-place results across the year. The win was his 11th consecutive conversion of an outright 54-hole lead. 10 of his 21 titles have come by 4 shots or more. Only Tiger Woods, with 10, has more career victories on the PGA Tour by 8 shots or more, and Scottie Scheffler is now the 5th golfer in the last 40 years to record multiple wins by that margin, the other being the CJ Cup Byron Nelson last year. At 30 years old, his 21 wins matched the career totals of World Golf Hall of Fame members Davis Love III and Lanny Wadkins, and he became the 3rd youngest player to reach that number behind Tiger Woods and Jack Nicklaus. There was also a personal element to the venue. Scottie Scheffler made his professional debut in Memphis in 2018 and had finished tied for 4th and tied for 3rd at TPC Southwind in the 2 previous years. It was the course he had played most often, 7 times without winning, and the playoff opener was the only postseason tournament he had not yet won. The victory also means he now owns multiple wins in each of his 5 seasons on the PGA Tour. He described the shift in his own terms. "I felt like a week like this was coming," he said. "I felt like I was on repeat all year, just being like, hey, I'm playing solid. I'm close." He added, "It feels good to be answering some different questions at the end of this week." The financial consequences were substantial. He earned $3.6 million from the $20 million purse. He clinched an additional $23 million in bonus money, made up of $22 million paid up front and $1 million deferred, by securing first place in the FedEx Cup standings through the BMW Championship. That moved him to 2nd on the career money list with $119,64,411, passing Rory McIlroy, who has $116,408,372, and leaving him a more $755 behind Tiger Woods, who leads with $120,999,166. The earnings comparison reflects the era as much as the performance. Scottie Scheffler has played 163 tournaments, averaging $735,977 per start. Rory McIlroy has played 284, averaging $410,170. Tiger Woods played 364, averaging $332,415. The next closest active player on that list is Justin Rose at 46 years old with $78.6 million. Scottie Scheffler also became the first player to officially clinch a place on the United States team for the President's Cup, which will be his 3rd appearance at Medina Country Club. His season now reads 2 victories, 5 runner-up finishes, and 5 other top 4 finishes, with a single missed cut across 17 tournaments, forming the basis of his case for a 5th consecutive Player of the Year award on the PGA Tour. He has 2 tournaments remaining to add to it. While that was unfolding, Rory McIlroy was completing the worst tournament of his season. He finished 66th in a field of 68 players at 8 over par. He opened with a 4 over 74 that left him 68th of 69 players after the first round. And he failed to break par in any of his 4 rounds on the par 70 layout. On Sunday, he made a double bogey on the first hole and stood at 5 over through 6 holes. He recovered to make 5 birdies across an 8-hole stretch, then finished with back-to-back bogeys for a 2 over 72. When he signed his card, he ranked 62nd out of 68 players in strokes gained, tee to green, and 65th in strokes gained off the tee. He finished 25 shots behind Scottie Scheffler. He had entered the week 12th in the FedEx Cup standings and was projected to fall only to 13th, which means he remains assured of a place in the 30-man Tour Championship regardless of what happens in St. Louis, his own assessment was direct. "I'm just so far away from where I need to be to even feel like I have a chance," he said. "I've just got to keep working and hope it turns around a little bit." He noted that he didn't come in here with a ton of reps. That point carries weight, because he had not competed since the Open Championship, where he finished tied for 40th in mid-July. He identified timing problems in his swing as the central issue and explained how they affected his thinking. "Almost felt like the more the week went on, the more I felt lost with the golf swing a little bit," he said. "You start to make the golf swing more important than the golf shot sometimes, and that's obviously not a good thing either," on his closing stretch, he said. Definitely there's some signs of encouragement there. On the wider problem, he said the execution wasn't there this week. The season record does not match the week. Rory McIlroy has 4 top 10 finishes, won a 2nd consecutive Masters title in April, has made the cut in all 12 of his starts, and entered the week ranked 2nd in the world behind only Scottie Scheffler. There was also a change in his approach to the postseason. He skipped this event entirely last year when he began the playoffs 2nd in the standings. Asked why he played it this time, he pointed to his schedule, saying that 4 weeks off before the final 2 events would have been a little too much for him in terms of wanting to be competitive. He also said, "I think it's important to be here. It's the Tour's playoffs, and I think it's important for all the players to be here." He revealed, "I've had some good conversations with Brian Rolap over the last couple weeks," referring to the chief executive officer of the PGA Tour. He now travels to Bellerive Country Club in St. Louis, Missouri, with his swing coach Michael Bannon and his caddy Harry Diamond to make adjustments. He has played that course once in competition, finishing tied for 50th at the 2018 PGA Championship, which was won by Brooks Koepka. He is chasing an unprecedented 4th FedEx Cup title and a 1st since 2022. Behind the 2 headline names, the week decided who continued and who went home. Sungjae Im arrived at number 53 in the standings, finished tied for 5th after a closing 75, and moved to number 40. He was the only player to play his way into the top 50 during the week, and the result kept alive his record of reaching the Tour Championship every year since his rookie season in 2019. Because he moved up, someone had to move down. Keith Mitchell fell to 51st, finishing 7.819 points short. On the 18th hole, he stood in the water to the left of the fairway and played his shot from the bank to give himself the best possible chance. The shot tumbled back into the water, he made bogey, and he missed out. Describing his year, Keith Mitchell said, "It's tough because this year I was like 1 foot in, 1 foot out all year, in the majors, in the signature events. Jordan Spieth needed 4 closing pars to reach the BMW Championship for the first time since 2023. He made a bogey from the water on the 15th hole, finished with an even par 70, and placed 52nd. It is the 2nd straight season the 3-time major champion has played only 1 postseason event. Shane Lowry, Max Homa, Harris English, and Pearson Coody also finished outside the top 50. Maverick McNeely entered the week on the bubble and survived at number 49 after a 1 under 69 on Sunday and a share of 19th place. Much happier trip not going to the airport and just driving a car up the river, he said. The last man to qualify was Matt McCarty at number 50, less than 8 points ahead of Keith Mitchell. Yesterday I booked a flight. I'm going back to Chicago, Matt McCarty said. The largest gains of the week belonged to Sungjae Im, who rose 13 places, Alex Noren, who moved from 46th to 34th, Jake Knapp from 40th to 35th, Kurt Kitayama from 33rd to 28th, and Bud Cauley from 34th to 29th. Everyone inside the top 50 secured something beyond one more start. All of them are guaranteed entry into the 8 signature events in 2027. The BMW Championship runs from August 20 to August 23 at Bellerive Country Club with a $20 million purse, no cut, a field of 50, $3.6 million to the winner, and a minimum of $66,000 for last place. Nearly $100 million in bonus money will be distributed once that event concludes, with $12 million plus $1 million deferred for second place in the standings. And $50. 000 in cash plus deferments above $225,000 for those ranked 41st through 50th. Players finishing 51st through 125th receive between $195,000 and $100,000. The Tour Championship follows from August 27 to August 30 at East Lake Golf Club in Atlanta, Georgia, with 30 players competing for a $40 million purse and $10 million to the champion, played as straight stroke play with no starting strokes. Tommy Fleetwood won it last year for his first victory on the PGA Tour. The current bubble position for Atlanta belongs to Ricky Fowler at number 30, with Justin Thomas at 44th and Michael Thorbjornsen at 41st among those on the outside. Behind Scottie Scheffler, who holds 4,873 points, the standings read Matt Fitzpatrick with 3,425, Cameron Young with 3,183, Siwoo Kim with 2,701, and Wyndham Clark with 2,542. Rory McIlroy sits 13th with 1,745. For the 20 players eliminated in Memphis, the next opportunity is the Biltmore Championship in Asheville, North Carolina, which begins the FedEx Cup Fall Series on September 17 at the Cliffs at Walnut Grove.